Oof, man, talk about a rough week in the market and a rough Friday. Yesterday was an absolute bloodbath, and I'm talking a bloodbath, guys. The S&P went down 1.75%, and we had the Qs down 2% as the Russell, the small cap index, went down about 1.75, as the Dow went down roughly the same as the Russell, and we had Brent up 5%. We had the VIX up, I think it went over 30, yeah, 31, which I'm not surprised. We've been talking about this. I think honestly we could go to 40. And we had gold up 2.5%. We're back over 4,500. Silver's up to 2.7 as of Friday. So clearly, the safe havens are up. Oil is continuing its run for obvious reasons, and the VIX is going back to the mid 30s. I think 40 potentially this week, depending on how things obviously go on in the Middle East regarding the conflict, the Strait, this, that, the third. I mean, all that. You know what I mean? So let's break down now. I really want to focus on the charts. Let's break down where we're looking at, or what I'm looking at on these charts. What stocks I'm looking to trade here, buy, the whole 9 yards. Let's just run through a bunch of charts, guys. As again, the market, it's not looking good. So the VIX is bursting through 30 points right now. It's at 31. And like I said already, I think it's going higher. SPY is a complete falling knife. You guys can see, based on the price action here, we easily took out the lows from, I think, Monday. We hit about 642 on SPY. We ran right through that, closed at 632, which pretty much is a, geez, guys, 7-month, 8-month low for the index. You know, if you guys pull up the 1-year chart on SPY, let me make sure you can see it. I'll make my big old head a little smaller here, guys. There we go. That's beautiful. You can see on this time frame here, if we fall through, guys, if we fall through this support I just drew out right around 630, which we closed above it on Friday. 630 was the low back in August, back in September as well. If we fall through that point, I mean, there's another gap down to 618, 620. That's another little, not even little, a decent $15 to $20 drop in SPY that could potentially happen. Again, if things get worse in the Middle East, if things escalate even further, if this gets drawn out even more. So I'm looking at this gap right here, down to 618, 620, potentially for it to play out this week. And keep in mind, we are a complete falling knife, very oversold. So you have to realize Trump might try and pump the market up again. So don't be surprised if that happens. If we get a tweet Monday morning, if we get something come Tuesday, right, or during the day Monday, that could very well pop the market here, as it is in a state of being ridiculously oversold. But that could also go the other way. What if we just gapped right under 630, guys, and we ran right down to 618? Oof. But it all comes down to Trump. It all comes down to President Donald Trump, guys, as we all know at this point. And the Qs, well, it doesn't all come down to him, but he has the biggest platform, man, and he's obviously moving these markets. Come on, anybody could see it. And the Qs right here fill the gap down to 560, which was the low from back in August, right? September, back in even the end of July. So that is a 7-8 month low for the Qs here, and it's also a complete falling knife. Keep that in mind. Maybe Trump tries to, again, pump the market. This might see a bit of a run, but it's still in a very vulnerable spot. And we can see, if I pull this, let's see on this 1-year chart, guys. Let me zoom in here. I think last April, for perspective, we got down to like 402, which is nuts. 405, 410, that general range. So we're still up big time year over year. That's the funny thing. The Qs are up 38% year over year pretty much. And people are freaking out. I get it. I get it. People don't like selling or sell-offs rather. It is down 13%. It is in correction territory. People don't like it though. But this is where buying opportunities arise, you know? So if we break through 560, maybe this goes down to like a 548, 550. That's a gap that we could fill. If it gets really ugly, maybe down to 525. That was support here back in the middle end of June of last year. So we'll see. We'll see. What do you guys think? Let me know, as always, down below. And let's see, that would be a drop. Let's say it does go down to 550. That would be a drop of another 2%. That's not too bad, really. And, you know, it might go lower. We shall see. That's why we have a decent amount of cash. I just put cash into my brokerage literally on Friday. I actually nibbled a little bit of Meta. I couldn't help myself, man. I bought a little bit of Meta in the aftermarket. Let's start popping up these charts, so we might as well. Let me make sure this is still recording. We are good, guys. Obviously, I'm not in my normal setting here, if you haven't realized that yet. But we can see Meta. Let's pull this up. I nibbled some at 525, nothing crazy. And of course, it went down to 520 in the aftermarket. But this is, I think it's arguably one of the most oversold stocks in the short term. Obviously, with that lawsuit, we covered that already. And overall, the market selling off, I mean, it is getting bludgeoned to death at this point. And what I've found is when this happens, with Meta especially, and look, it's had a rough 8 to 9 months. I get it. But when Meta does get hit aggressively on news like a lawsuit, all right, whatever. Of course, it does have to do with the overall market, but look, the fundamentals are good at Meta still, in my opinion. They just slashed 20% of their workforce. They're going to get more efficient. You know, they're stopping the bleeding with the metaverse. That's good. I think there's a lot of potential here long term, and I have faith in Mark Zuckerberg. I like investing in companies that are founder led, right? That are, you know, they have a guy like Zuck's running it. It's like Elon with Tesla. It's similar. Some people are like, oh, you can't compare Zucks to Elon, but I think Zuckerberg has done a pretty good job throughout the years. And again, whenever Meta sees this kind of drop, to me, it's a buy. You know, back in 21, I know this was a much crazier drop, but it went from $380 down to $90 a share. It went down 75%. A lot of that, most of that had to do with the metaverse. They were going too deep into it. And now we're down from highs from 800 to 525. We're down about 35%. Not nearly as much as that sell-off back then, but it's a decent drop. We're getting near that moving average here, the 50 SMA, and this is the max chart, by the way, on Meta. You know, this company came public, if you guys remember, back in 2012. They haven't been public that long. I mean, yeah, it's been like 15 years, geez, but not nearly as long as some other companies, and the chart looks phenomenal. You know, this crash in 21 was a generational buying opportunity, and if this thing gets under 500 somehow, it gets into the 400s again, somehow into the threes. I highly doubt that, but that would be another generational buying opportunity. So for me, I'm nibbling a little bit. Again, here at 525, I added, and I'm looking to add more in this pocket right here. If you guys look at the chart, I'm looking to add a ton more in this pocket, quite frankly, down to 420 if it gets there. You know, if it in this $100 window right here, I'm looking to add. Probably every $25 a share it drops, I'm going to add more. And this is the first time I bought in the 500s Friday. And again, I just dipped my toes into it, and I'm going to slowly start adding more as it gets lower here. And again, if the VIX gets anywhere near 40, guys, anywhere near 40, I'm going to be buying up stocks. At that point, I mean, anything that's quality fundamentals, growth company, it's going to rebound over time. I mean, not anything. That's not true. But it's got to be a great company, solid company. And if you pick your stocks right, you know, they're going to do well in the recovery. So I like the way Meta is shaping up here. I really do. Some people might disagree, whatever. But I'm buying in the low fives. I had, my average cost before was about 630. So, yeah, I'm down. But this, again, is a buying opportunity, long-term investment for me. I think it's going to 1,000 a share over the next couple of years. No problem, in my opinion. 1, 2, 3 years. Easily, I think this could be $1,000 stock. So I'm buying Meta. Nvidia is a no-brainer. I feel like we talk about that one too much. This one broke through 170, clear a support break there. Now we're at 166 as of close Friday, or 167 actually. It traded down in the aftermarket, and we're at multi-month lows on Nvidia. And you guys can see on the 3-year chart, we're right around that 50 SMA. On the max chart, you guys will see, some will argue we're way overbought, but the reality is, guys, fundamentals haven't been stronger for Nvidia right now. And yeah, they're facing rising competition over time, no doubt about it, which we're not going to get into all that in this video. But the reality is, they crushed earnings, they guided up. They're a dominant company in the space. AI, it's just starting. I think it's in the second or third inning. So for me, guys, it's almost a no-brainer here. So I'm looking to add more Nvidia this upcoming week. Meta as well, again, like I said. And I'm looking to potentially buy some Coherent. If this thing can slip to the low freaking 200s, come on, Coherent, I'm going to add a bunch more. Or not even a bunch more. I'm not in it right now, but I've been in and out of it all year. I'm looking to get back in if it somehow gets down to, let's say, 200. Under 200, I think it'd be a steal. 180 to 200, I'd be buying it up there. So I'm watching that. That's, I think that's COHR. I blanked for a second. We covered that one a bunch before. Let's see, guys. Obviously, Micron. We covered Micron a lot. You're probably like, Stas, you talk about Micron too much. But, yeah, I'm building up, excuse me, a position here in Micron during the sell-off. It's down from 477 to 350 now, pretty much in a straight line from earnings, or since earnings. With this selling in the market, the VIX potentially going higher, 35, 40, Micron might slip a little more. Who's to say it can't go down to like 320, 330? It might. People think, oh, it's not going to go there. It might not go there. But if it takes out this support from earlier in March, 340, 345, which that's going to test coming up this week, we might see another flash crash down, and that would be an even bigger buy. They're trading at like 4 times forward earnings now, or 3 times, which is just ridiculous. Does that make sense? It doesn't, if you believe those estimates. So Micron, yep, I'm buying it up here. And look, I'm not buying 20 or 30 stocks here. I'm only buying a couple. I'm dipping my toes in. I took about 10 days with no buying stocks at all, just my ETFs, whatever, that are on repeat on auto. And I started nibbling into Micron. Again, I dabbled into Meta now. I'm starting to buy some more. I'm just taking it slow. I'm not rushing in, because who knows how long this is really going to last. But then again, you have to realize Mr. President Donald Trump does have a huge ego. We've covered that time and time again. And midterms are coming up. So guess what? He's going to want the market at least moving back in the right direction. He's going to want the war done by then. So no doubt in my mind, we are going to get a rebound this year in 2026. No doubt in my mind. Do we go back to all-time highs? I don't know yet. We'll see. I think so. But the question is, how much lower do we go before we get that rebound into the midterms, or into the back half of the year? It's not going to be like the market turns around or starts to turn around in September, October. By then, it's too late. Mr. President Trump needs the market to turn around in like a month or two, a lot sooner, before the midterms, sooner, right? So, yeah, I think at this point, a little more pain, no doubt, in the short term. But, yeah, you got to realize these midterms, guys, they're going to play a big role. the war is going to end, quote unquote. Even if it doesn't really end in the background, the war is going to end. We'll declare victory, whatever. The market will start to shoot back up, right? Oil will come down a little bit. Maybe not, probably not. No way back to where it was, at least for now. But from what I'm reading, right? But it'll stabilize, and that's going to help the market come back. So, yeah, we're talking a lot, man. At this point, again, I'm nibbling stocks. I'm buying. I'm long term here. I'm not freaking out at all about this. And this market could easily V-shape recover too. You got to realize that. I think the market could see a V-shape recovery potentially. Not as quick as COVID. I mean, that'd be nuts. But maybe a little more drawn out V-shaped recovery. But yeah, at this point, guys, what do you think? This market's interesting, but don't panic. If you see the VIX go up a lot more on Monday, Tuesday, don't panic. Realize this too shall pass. When in doubt, zoom out. Buy quality companies. Buy ETFs. Buy VU. Buy VTI. Buy companies with fundamentals, profitable, right? And you'll be fine out of this. Unless we're truly in a Great Depression, World War III scenario where things get a lot worse than what we expected, kind of like a black swan almost. In that case, yeah, we might be in further trouble. But I'm hoping for the best, man. I'm an optimist. I can also see reality. I mean, I can see what's happening, but I'm hoping for the best. I'm also an optimist, right? And yeah, man, I think we're going to get out of this, and I think the market's going to be back. So don't panic sell. Let me know your thoughts. Follow along for more. Check out the link down below for my portfolio updates if you guys are interested. My private Discord, all that. No pressure, obviously, but it's linked down below, pinned in the comments as well, in the description box, or go to stocksurfest.com/Patreon. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.